I want black teens, white teens, all teens going to school. Let's show these adults the young people are the tool. A teen new deal will help us do it. We can prove it. Earning incentives should be included. We'll be making money every week, just do it. Let's deep dive into solving racism, hate, and crime. All people can be equalized. Let students earn money at school and we could do more than survive. We will thrive. It's 2022, the pandemic is conquered. When we still alive. Diversity is the bigger picture in God's hands. Peel your own image from the mirror and wear it every day. Keep your head held high. A solution is the only way. Young people are gifted, persevere. But let's face it, we still getting shot at school. We still can't vote at school, killed over and over by the law. I can't stall no longer. This can't go on any longer. Something needs to change. Aim for a teen new deal.
All right. Woo, woo, woo. Is Shannon here?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm here.
There you are. Okay, fantastic, Shannon. I love it. I love it. And I'm going to tell you, hey, Mr. Norde, how are you?
Glad to be with you. Glad to be with you. Thank you so much. We're doing well.
Good, good. I will say I read them both on the plane coming back from Chicago. I read all the poems. I learned about the Teen New Deal. You all are fantastic. I mean, my hopes and dreams and prayers go out to all of you all. You want to start off, Mr. Norde, and tell us, just what you all are doing, and Asha as well. And I'll ask everybody to introduce themselves really quickly. Isaiah, great writer. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, Ms. Rolark Barnes, thank you so much for having us here. We are just so awe-inspired to be with you and the legacy that your family has created with the Informer. So just thank you so much for having us here. So yes, and Asha G is one of our team poetry instructors. I'm the co-founder of a nonprofit called Do the Right Thing, and we operate after-school programs and summer programs for young people doing multimedia projects. We are here with students from Ballou High School, where we had two after-school programs this school year. We started them off with our after-school poetry club, and you can see Miss Asha G. She was their teaching artist and poetry instructor, and it was an opportunity for the students to be able to express themselves, talk about the things that are impacting them, especially during, as you mentioned, these heavy times. Right. And so we want our young people being able to talk about the things that are going on in their community, in their own lives. And so that's what we did with under Miss Asha's expert tutelage. And they were able to produce a book called Truth, full of poems and full of their opinions, their thoughts, speaking their heart and their mind. Yes, there it is there. And so after they participated in that poetry club, we transitioned them to another program called the Teen New Deal, which is based on a book about three components that we believe can use young people to transform our society, with three components: paying young people to go to school with digital currency and letting their parents access those earnings. Also, student government nationwide mandatory, so young people can start voting on school-based issues, including school uniforms, school field trips, school security, and also student-based media, closed-circuit media at the school, so students can get a hold of their image and begin to irresponsibly work with social media. So that's what we did, and we have some wonderful participants here that have some great poems and just some great thoughts on their mind. So they're with us today. Again, thank you for having us here.
No, my pleasure, my pleasure. As I was reading, I don't do poetry. I always think that, people that are poets just are gifted. They just have a way with words. And I'm gonna start with you, Isaiah, because I was reading your poems early on, but as I kept going further back, the message in it was becoming clearer and clearer, and the way you were writing, just really became more poignant. And what I get out of all of you all is that you've got a lot to say, but you're just wondering who is listening. So I'm going to stop because I want to listen. I'm going to start with you, Isaiah, and ask you, how what this experience has been like for you, and then I'm going to ask everybody else the same thing.
Well, thank you for having us, and thank you for Point on Poem. I appreciate that you liked it, and it means a lot to me. And with poetry and basically expressing myself, it's a situation where as I'm going through stuff and going through situations, I write it as long as I'm going through it. So I'm like, I can be going through something in the moment. I just pick up my phone, start writing it, and get my emotions out, because sometimes, like you say, you don't know who's listening. Sometimes you don't really have people to talk to about your emotions, so you write it down in ways of talking to yourself or looking at how you feel, because sometimes we can't express our emotions. Poem I wrote was called Pride, basically not really accepting our emotions. We push it to the side. But my way of my way of getting through all that stuff, I just wrote it down on paper, because it allowed me to accept my emotions first with writing, and then allow me to express because I can perform it now. So poetry done a lot for me.
Wonderful. Taisha, how about you?
It's Taja, and
Okay.
my experience with the program has been good. I learned like some new skills as far as like managing time, learning that you don't always get rewarded for like doing the right thing or whatever. You should just do the right thing. Just having integrity, and just that's like the right thing to do. And it also helped me with like class work, like going to class, learning how to manage my work, not procrastinate and stuff.
Well, boy, those are great lessons. I need to be in your class now, because I've forgotten some of those. Is it so? I don't want to mess up people's names. So Araya.
Hi, yes, it's Araya.
Araya. Okay.
The program actually helped a lot when it came to speaking to people, especially with the Teen New Deal, because with the program we had to speak. Like if you ain't speak, you what's the point you being there? And with the poetry program, it allowed me to express my feelings and how well I was doing in school. It also helped with my communication skills, also in speaking in front of big crowds.
Yeah, and you all, I'm very, very proud of you, because no one seems to be bashful in this group, and that's important. That's important. Angelina.
Hey, yes, thank you for having me. The program helped me learn that social ills has a lot to do with kids in school, and I like the fact that it might not change now, but it could change the next generation and the future for upcoming adults. It helped me bring my grades up in school, because I felt since being in the program, I was getting paid to school. So I was going to my classes, almost got straight A's, and I got on the road for last quarter, and I would be getting on the road for this quarter. So it really did a lot for me.
Wow. I mean, I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills. That's fantastic. And Shannon, that great poem that you opened us up with, talk about and how you've been, what this experience has been like for you.
This experience helped me a lot because I have lack of patience and I have bad communication skills. So once I joined the Teen New Deal and the poem program, it helps me a lot with talking to people and managing how to write, think better. So this program really helped me a lot.
We're going to have, go ahead.
Oh, I said thanks for having me.
Oh, no, my pleasure. Thanks for coming. This is kind of a little bit off point, but tomorrow there are going to be thousands of young people coming to DC, talking, about March for Our Lives and ending gun violence in schools. And many young people like yourselves who are qualified to be on that stage to deliver messages won't be there, or at least won't be on the stage. But I mean, if you were, if someone asked you today, can you speak tomorrow? Who would say, I would, and this is what I would say? Okay, Isaiah, what would be your message?
Okay, can you repeat that again? Like one more time, so I can be able to put it like.
That's a good way to buy time. Excuse me, could you repeat the question, please? I like that. But if you got a phone call today, because you all are poets, you have a lot to say. If someone called you today and said, look, can you represent Baloo at the March for Our Lives tomorrow on stage? And you just said you would do it, what would be your message?
basically March for Our Lives. Basically, the message that I will promote. It's a poem and it's called "Take Your Chances." It basically talks about learning how to just do things without having to sit there and wait for validation. And one of the lines it said, "Don't wait for permission to do what you want to do in life because people are acting dismissive." I was basically saying like, don't sit there and stop. You shouldn't stop caring because they don't care. So I was just like, you should just take the chance and just go for it and not wait for somebody to tell you that it's okay to do that, or is somebody else marching in front of me so I can march behind them before you to just step up and say, I want to do it.
All right, strong message. Yeah, Mr. Norde.
Denise, Ms. Barnes, if I could speak to what Isaiah just mentioned, this poem that he has in the book called Truth. It's called, I think it says, Take a Chance. I read this poem. I read all the students' poems, and this one spoke to me so profoundly because I'm taking a chance with this program, our Teen New Deal program. We are paying the students to read this book called The Teen New Deal, where we're talking about paying students to go to school with digital currency and letting the parents have that money. And if I can tell you, I've spoken with a lot of people about this idea, many adults, and a lot of people are against it. And I can understand that it is a controversial idea, talking about financial literacy and putting money in students' pockets. And if they haven't read the book and don't know all the details that I've put in there, it can seem very controversial and seem like something that we shouldn't do. But I read this young man's poem. Now I'm almost half a century old, right? And I read this poem from a high schooler, and it gave me the motivation. I said, wait a minute, and am I reading a poem? Am I reading poems from kids? And they're giving me the motivation that I need as an adult and a co-founder of a nonprofit in the nation's capital. They're giving me the motivation that I need to move forward. And so if I can just piggyback and let's, just like you said, you read the book on the plane, there are some amazing words of inspiration from these young people in this book. And just like, may he rest in peace, Congressman John Lewis said, these young people are going to be the answer for us. They may not have all of the answers, but we can use them. If we can harness their energy and their brilliance, we can transform our society. And so I'd just like to say kudos to all of our young people here on your show. Thank you so much. But we do have to take a chance, and that's what this poem was about.
Yeah, I like the fact that this is a workbook, right? And so there are lots of exercises in here, and you even in addition to John Lewis, I mean, you talked about Nas, you talked about Andrew Yang, the former mayor of, and I like the way you asked those questions towards the end. I'm like, this is inspiring. Michael Bloomberg, Charles Blow, whose book I just bought, called The Devil You Know, a Black Power Manifesto. What just bought that book this week. So, I think it's a great way to move forward. Asha, let's talk a little bit about how, your role and what you've done in working with these young folks, and then I'll ask them to grade you. No, that's your joke. I won't do that, but you're muted. Oops, and now you're sideways. Okay, let's unmute. Oops, okay. It's not unmuting. Wow.
Does she see the button in the lower left corner?
Yeah, I'm not sure. And she's it keeps turning sideways. While she tries to figure that out, I just want to. So, what grade is everybody in?
Ms. Barnes, I think we all have juniors and seniors here.
Okay, all right.
If I'm correct.
Okay, all right. And so, with this Teen New Deal, can someone give me your impression of and your opinion about the whole thing of parents having access to your money? Tasia, I keep doing that. Tasia?
Yes, can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, just tell me what you think about the Teen New Deal, and also the controversial part that Mr. Norde mentioned about parents having access to the money that you make for going to school.
I think the program, the Teen New Deal, is good. It will motivate students, to go to school. A lot of students will especially in our generation. Some students think that going to school is like it's no purpose or it's no reason, or like the things they learning is not going to be useful in their lives or whatever. So maybe if they have like, been able to earn incentives and stuff to go to school, it might want them to improve on attendance, improve on grades. As far as the parents getting the money, I think it will be helpful too, because it teaches both the parent maybe and the student to how to be responsible, to save money and not just spend it. And also with the parents getting the money, they wouldn't have the option to just spend the kids' money. Some people might think, oh, well, if y'all letting the parents get the money, they might be irresponsible with it or use the child's money for their own purpose. But with the way Teen New Deal is set up, they wouldn't be allowed to do that.
And Angelina, you're gonna say something as well. Let me bring you in.
Yes, I think that the parents getting the money is a good idea because it will start when you first enter school. So it's not like any first graders or second graders should be dealing with money. And a lot of kids can't afford uniforms or textbooks and stuff. So the parents could go ahead and take the money, buy the uniforms, buy the textbooks, buy whatever the child needs to continue to attend school. And with all the pandemics happening and a lot of parents didn't have any jobs anymore, they got fired, they can use this money to maintain their household, buy food, and just get materials that they need.
I see Mr. Norde back there saying, come on, let's because I know you all agree. So that sounds great. I'm gonna come back to you just about how, because you said without the government too. You talked about that. But Asha, are you there? Can we get you yet?
Let's see. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, there you are.
We won.
Sorry. Yeah. So let's talk about your role and how you have helped to, expand the minds and the work of these young people.
Wow. I had the joy and pleasure of opportunity this year and working with these young students, these young, beautiful minds, helping them and holding them accountable to meeting their artistic goals around poetry and spoken word. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. So the students had the opportunity to compete in the Poetry Out Loud Festival, Words on Fire. They also had a really cool, give it up for you guys because you guys slammed me. That was so much fun. We had the opportunity to participate, which is an oration competition that comes through the Arts Commission, the Commission of Arts and Humanities in DC. Mm-hmm. So they had opportunity to learn poems that were created by historical poets, famous poets, and dictate them to the audience. And they were graded for accuracy, understanding. So we spent a lot of time, connecting with them, just having them explore poetry at all. They also had another competition, which was a spoken word poetry slam. Our girl Araya there, okay, give it up for Araya, because Araya competed in all of those on the statewide level. Araya placed, I believe, was it 30th place at the spoken word poetry slam? Yes, so that was a really cool win for Blue. I had a really great opportunity this year to work with these students and putting their poetry together. Wow. They submitted over, I think it was 58 poems that came from the school. Mm-hmm. And I edited them, I went through them, I read them, I connected with them to figure out and create a collection of poetry under a theme that represented them. A lot of the work that we did over the school year was on self-evaluation, right? Like looking at who I am, who this world is, and what is our connection, right? So you'll find in the book a lot of our poetry prompts that the kids wrote to that are about like, what is it like to walk in their shoes? What would they have to say to themselves in 10 years from right now, right? So like 16-year-old me talking to 26-year-old me later on. So they had a lot of cool opportunities. I learned so much about their resilience through this process, right? I think Isaiah was saying, why not? Like, take the chance. Like, when everybody's telling you don't do something, or that you are something, or you don't have something, or you don't have a skill acquired, why not go get the skill? why not prove them wrong? You know, why not do that thing for yourself so you can
Right.
go home with that good victory and feel
Right.
great about what you do. So yeah, that's what I did with them this year.
Well, I think it's fantastic, and I'll go back to the point of saying, you know, we don't really hear the voices of young people as much as we should. And you know, I publish a newspaper. We're right around the corner from Baloo, so you know, and I'm glad that our reporter Sam Collins discovered you all last year and did a story on it on you all. But you know, we might want to talk about creating a little space, a space in the Informer, maybe periodically, where we can run some poems from Do the Right Thing, and Do the Right Thing meaning WRITE, do the right thing. So I want people to remember that. So I'm so proud of you all. And again, like I said, I'm around the corner. So anytime you want to drop into the Informer office, now that we're kind of, well, not over COVID, but still, you know, you're welcome. I want to go through really quickly, and then we're going to end with you reciting your poem, Isaiah. But Angelina, what are your career goals? What do you want to do?
I wanted to be either a pediatrician or a lawyer.
Fantastic. You wanted to, or you want to?
I still want to, yes.
All right. Good. Araya. I keep doing that. Araya.
Yeah, my goals were to be a criminal psychologist because I love solving cases and all that.
Fantastic. Tasia.
Mine is to hopefully be CEO of my own business. That's when I want to go to college for the major in business.
Okay.
If not, I would want to be a teacher.
Okay. You have an idea what kind of business you'd like to run?
Clothing, like fashion. Like right now, I do a small business when I design clothes and shoes.
Oh, cool. Okay. You're a big student. I call him big. He's really small, but he came out of Baloo, and he's a designer. And when he was at Baloo, he was designing clothes and having fashion shows and what have you. And now he's in New York someplace doing the same thing. I'll get his name, but you know, it would be good for him to come back and check you all out. Shannon, how about you?
Mine is to be a traveler and be a professional model.
Okay, you said a traveler?
Yes.
You want to travel?
I want to travel around I want to go everywhere.
Okay.
And I also do photography, so that helps me a lot.
That's your ticket. Yeah, that's good. I might have some ideas for you too. Isaiah, you tell me lastly what your career aspirations are, and then going into that poem that you're going to read for us before we close out.
Okay. You can hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So basically what I want to do is I like expressing myself artistically and allowing myself to have a message to people. Like I want to do poetry, I want to do music, I want to be a producer, I want to be a songwriter, I want to do so much. So I don't know fully my potential what I want to do, but I just know I want to do a lot and I don't want to limit myself. And hopefully when I turn 25 and reach all my goals, I can keep going on beyond that.
Well, you heard from our busker, right? Who even at this late stage in his life, he's still working on his craft, right? So, you know, it's slow and steady. That's what I call it. So you got a poem for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna read Take Your Chances since y'all brought it up, and that's the bill as well.
Okay,
So I'm gonna read Take Your Chances because y'all was talking about it, and I was like, I'm gonna recite it from there.
Okay.
Okay. Why don't you just take your shot? Are you scared that people are gonna judge you for what you're not? Learn to be optimistic and trust in your decisions. When people don't support your ideas, don't you get offended. Learn to go the distance without needing extra attention. People won't understand until you manifest your vision. So focus on what's your business, not who's against it. Learn to better yourself and not always be in competition. Take control of your life and stop looking for permission. I know it's hate and jealousy. Don't let it create restrictions. Don't push away from your goals, dreams, hopes because people are pessimistic. Just because they don't care don't mean that you need to act dismissive. Trust your senses and worry about what you got and not what you're missing. Trust your gut and don't worry about who listens. Just push past your feelings. Remember, every superhero in someone else's story is a villain. So stop looking down at the floor and start reaching towards the ceiling. Life is determined by your problems or what you're feeling. Just allow time to help you and just focus on healing. Don't worry about what you ain't got, but focus on what's been given. Take your chance, it's your moment. Show the world what you're gifted.
All right. All right. Love it. Love it. Yes. I want to thank you all so much for being with us today. Keep up the great work. I know you will. And maybe I can get these books autographed by all of you all before before you graduate, move on. But thank you. I don't know anything else you want to add, Mr. Norde or Asha, before we go?
Just thank you again for the opportunity. This is amazing. We honor you and your family and the legacy that you have provided. These students nowadays have all this social media, the apps, the TikTok, the YouTube, but can they even understand? I'm not sure they can really understand the power of you and your family having a newspaper in the nation's capital, the platform that provides us, the access to information. We thank you, we honor you, we applaud you for the work that you continue to do, and we're just proud to be here. Thank you so much for this platform.
My pleasure. Maybe I can come over there. That's how I can get those autographs. I can come to you all. All right. All right.
I wanted to say really quick, Miss Denise, and everybody, I just want to thank the students, because this is I haven't seen you guys in forever, and I miss you, and you're awesome, and I hope you're still doing great work in the world. I want to thank you, Miss Denise, for offering this platform for them so they can have this experience in life. This is really, really awesome for them. And thank you again to Do the Right Thing for letting me facilitate and work with you guys.
Alrighty, y'all. Have a good one, you all. Thank you.